Alright, good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So, last night when the the Audi got towed, I was like in a full panic. I was like, oh my god, I gotta just get the turbo put back on the Jetta, and I'll have that done by tonight. But I realized that I wanted to do timing belt and water pump and all kinds of stuff to that. So, we're gonna start out the day trying to pull the AC compressor. So it looks like the bracket that bolts to the motor actually came off the motor. The AC compressor is still attached to the bracket, but for some reason either the bolts backed out or the bolts were never really in there that good when the previous shop swapped the motor. Whatever it is, we just got to figure out. Hopefully the block of the engine is not broken. Hopefully it is just literally some bolts came loose and the compressor fell down. And we'll just take the compressor off the bracket, remount the bracket, put it back together, get a new belt, and it's good to go. I still do want to do the brakes, the control arms, and all that stuff, but it might delay the process. I don't know. I like driving this thing too much. And then with this car, I just got to do timing belt. I'm going to put the 276 cam back in. We're going to put the turbo back on, and I think it should be good after that. It's crazy, all the plasti dip totally failed. Like I said, we're at elevation, we're about 7,000 feet. This stuff really just doesn't last here in this elevation. It's funny though, because the ghost pearl that I put in it, I don't know if you guys can see that blue shine. The plasti dip is starting to turn like a white, lose its color, but the pearl that I used is actually still there. So I might go ahead next time and just put a bunch of pearl in like some white plasti dip, and I don't have to worry about it fading because it's white, and then the pearl still keeps its color, so it'll kind of have like a cool look to it. But yeah, so anyway, we'll go ahead and try and get, I think, 6 bolts that we're worried about today. So, see if we can get it done. Here is AC compressor down here, and it is totally just... it is off. It is still on the bracket, and you know it's on the bracket because the bolts are still tight to the bracket, but the whole thing is just wiggling. So, because of that, it swallowed up the belt. The belt was like riding on top of it. It wasn't even going on the pulley itself. It was literally just spinning the AC compressor backwards, which I don't know if that's good for it, but it was spinning it backwards, and yeah, just not a good situation. So we'll figure it out. We'll get this thing pulled off. So yeah, just not good. So I was trying to use this thing. It's an E-Work brushless. Supposedly it's rated for, let's see, 700 Newton meters of torque. Little made in China. I bought it off Amazon. And it works for just like zipping bolts off that are really like hand tight. But is definitely not making 700 Newton meters of torque. Not even close to that. It can't even undo the lug nuts on the car, or lug bolts on the car. And I was fighting with the test pipes for days, I think, because of just this alone. I was under the impression that it would be able to do that, but with such a small little gearbox in there, I don't think it's able to even get that much torque behind it, even with all the gear reductions and all that stuff in here. It's just such a small body. It's literally this big. And yeah, so we're going with the old Onyx. I bought this one as well when I got the Audi. This thing rips. Pneumatic all the way. Works so much better. Even though I do love my electric and cordless stuff, this thing rips. So hopefully we'll get these bolts out pretty fast. So, what we have discovered with this car. Not the best news ever, but something that I think we can work through. So the bolt actually broke off in the block. So that sounds awful. It is awful, but we can hit it with the easy out. We're gonna have to drill into that bolt, use the easy out to get it out, and then put a new bolt in. The bottom bolt is still in, but I'm gonna replace that as well. So they'll both be new. I think there's only 2 holding that bracket. I'll have to double check, make sure there's not a third, but this car is bricked for now. We're going to be doing water pump. We're going to be doing, so if you can see, there is residue everywhere. The water pump has been leaking. We should make sure, I did get another one of these sensors here. Make sure the crossover pipe's good. It is in service mode, as you guys can tell. Everything is sagging and pulled way forward. We drain the coolant on the car. I have a new coolant reservoir. I might as well put that in. I'm going to order some new coil packs. Those are just cheap Amazon coil packs. I'm sure they're probably losing me horsepower. So replace coil packs, new that. Make sure everything is good in the front. Yeah. So, super depressing with that, but we have the Jetta all torn apart. I actually did some work on this after I figured out that. Moved over to this, pulled the timing belt off. I have a new timing belt kit. I'm going to go ahead and throw the 276 wide lobe turbo cam back in it, just because it was kind of fun, and put a new timing belt, put the turbo back on, get this thing all ready to go, all ready to drive again, and then this will be my daily driver again. So went from this to this, hopefully this, as long as I get it done tomorrow. I have to get the registration all good, and I'm going to clean up some of the wiring and the excess piping and grossness that's in the engine bay. But yeah, Jetta's making a comeback, Audi's getting parked. We'll get this thing going, and hopefully it's all good. Hopefully there's no mice living in it. So yeah, so we'll pick this video back up tomorrow.